I'm out here walking my neighborhood for a few minutes because the storm hit last Saturday. It started hitting last Saturday, snowed all the way into Sunday evening, and I started to shovel out on Sunday, thinking, okay, let me get a head start, let me see what I can do, but it was coming down pretty hard, and so I just stopped for the day, and then I got back out there on Monday, and I did a little bit of my driveway, and kid next door was walking by, and he just stopped and was like, "Hey man, this is how I want to make money. Let me do your driveway." So I was like, "All right." So I paid him $80, and he did the entire driveway, and he shoveled out the berm that the snowplow had created up in front of my driveway and all that when it had came down through the neighborhood and pushed all the snow up into my driveway and everybody else's driveway. But you know, it's been 5 days now, and you know, my neighborhood looks a lot better than a lot of other neighborhoods around the county, but it's still not great. You know, I mean, as you can see here, you know, I'm looking at this, walking up on this part right here, and I'd say that this part right here, the snow is probably coming out into the roadway, probably about 10 to 14 feet. You know, and so I mean, you got, you know, right here the snow is coming out into the roadway from the sidewalk 10 to 14 feet, and this little spot right here, you know, it was a well, here's the car right up here above, but this car was, you know, it was parked right there. I mean, the kid could have parked the car in the freaking driveway, but he didn't do that. You know, he just parked on the side of the road, knowing that the snowplow was going to come in. And then when all the snow hit, the snowplow came in and pushed all the snow up against his car, and so he just created just enough to get his car out and left, you know, the rest of it there. You know, but this house right here, I mean, this is like freaking crazy, man, because this house right here, these people, they haven't done anything. You know, I mean, as you can see, you know, the freaking driveway is not plowed at all. Snow's still up against the freaking mailbox, and no footprints in the snow and stuff like that. And so whenever I leave my house, I walk down here. I walk down here to the end of the road, probably about 2-3 times a day. You know, to take the dog out so the dog can do its business. And I mean, whenever I walk down here, it doesn't matter if it's at, you know, 5 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. You know, I always see all the lights on in the house. People walking around in there, but they haven't left. It's like, almost like they don't have a care in the world. Like, they're just like, oh, forget this, you know, we're just going to stay in the house and we got everything we need, and forget about that, you know, cleaning up the driveway and the sidewalk and you know, all that and all that. But yeah, it's just when I go through the neighborhood, you know, still see all these cars, you know, parked all over the place, snow piled up. A lot of, I don't think nearly anybody has gotten the snow out from around the mailbox. You know, I did, because, you know, I do that every year. You know, I get out, and even though it takes me like a couple to a few days, I clean up my part of the driveway. I mean, I clean up my part of the sidewalk, that is, you know, and you know, that goes through my property, that covers my property lines and all that. You know, I clean up my part of the driveway, the sidewalk, and I clean up the driveway, and get the snow out from around the fucking mailbox and all that jazz, you know, and I mean, it helps because the other day when I was out there cleaning up my sidewalk and everything, I was, you know, with the snow and everything, it was like frozen solid ice. I was out there, you know, with this shingle stripper, you know, like the shingle strippers that you use to to get the shingles off your roof and everything like that. Well, if you got a shingle stripper is a great tool for breaking up ice. You know, because I found it in my garage, forgot I even had it. I was like, oh man, this looks like it's gonna be good to go. So went out and did it, and it was breaking up the ice pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was double work. You know, I had to like spend like a few minutes breaking up about 12 to 18 inches of ice, and then I'd shovel it up and throw it off to the side, and then pick up the shingle stripper and break another 12 to 18 inches of ice. And so, you know, but yeah, I mean, you see that nobody's cleaned out their mailboxes. And you know, going back again, I was out in my out front cleaning up my sidewalk, and then the mail guy came, and and he pulled right up, put the mail in my box, and he was like, hey, thanks for cleaning the snow away from my mailbox. I really appreciate that. And I was like, hey, no problem, you're welcome. And then I stood there and watched him, and he was going down the street. He stopped at every single mailbox, got out of his little mail truck, and had to walk around the truck and across the snow to put mail in each person's individual box. And I was like thinking, dang, you know, I mean, just think about all the time that takes, you know, to drive up to each and every single mailbox in all the subdivisions. It's like every 100 feet, you gotta freaking get out of your truck and walk around the vehicle to put mail in somebody's mailbox because they didn't clean up their stuff, you know. And but on the same time, you can't blame it all on the homeowner, because, you know, here where I live, you know, we pay some of the highest property taxes in the nation, and the average home, my home is probably valued at like $750,000, $850,000, and I live in one of the poorest neighborhoods in the freaking area. So, you know, it just goes to, and we pay all these property taxes, and yet we're not getting any kind of, what are we getting for paying all these property taxes? You know, you get a $850,000 house, you're going to spend like $900 a month on just property taxes. And you know, then they got all these other taxes that they're nickel and diming you on. Like, you go to the store and you got to pay a 5-cent bag tax, and then your vehicle assessment taxes are going up every year. Property taxes are going up every year, and then 80% of that tax money is going to, you know, going to the failing school district, and you know, because the kids are not learning anything, and you know, but that's another story for another time, you know. And then, you know, here in Virginia, they just you know, Governor Spindler, you know, she just got elected, and right off the bat hadn't even been in office 6 hours, and she comes out with like 10 different executive orders, you know, how she's going to do this and she's going to do that. And inside these executive orders, you know, she's got like 50 different separate tax proposals that they're going to implement to raise taxes, from like gym memberships to Uber Eats to Amazon to freaking Amazon, and a bunch of other things, you know. And she ran on affordability, talking about, yeah, I want to make it more affordable for Virginians. And for the record, I mean, I didn't vote for her, you know. I voted for Lisa Sears, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't excited about Winsome Sears at all. I mean, I thought Winsome Sears was a terrible candidate. She ran a bad, her campaign was undisciplined and all over the place, and I was like, man, I just wasn't excited about it at all. But, you know, I held my nose and freaking voted for her, and so now you got all these people, you know, that voted for Spindler. They're now all freaking bitching and moaning and complaining about how their freaking taxes are going to get raised and everything. I'm like, what the hell did you expect? You know, what the hell did you expect? You know, but anyway, I got plans for the future. I'm not going to be staying here in Virginia. I'm going to be staying here in Virginia too much longer, because I got plans to take my talents somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? school, and I don't have any kids in school or anything like that, so I'm just like, trying to make my money go a lot further and all that. So I'm just yeah, we got plans and everything, but going through this neighborhood and all that stuff. I mean, you can see it for yourself. I mean, it's just crazy. And this neighborhood, my neighborhood, is not as bad as some of the others. There's others that are in far worse shape than mine. But yeah, it's pretty bad shape.